threw it away. I've been wanting to make this kind of goofy video for a minute, and I've had these like still frames on my computer ready to go for this for whatever reason, just to illustrate the point. Now, I don't know how many of you out there are artists like myself. However, I've heard people speak about creating art. What I don't know that I've heard people say as much is that it's okay to throw something away. There's two parts of this that I want to address. The first part that I'll say is, when you create a piece of artwork, just because it isn't up to some kind of a standard, or because let's say it's your first day painting, let's not expect to be Picasso on day one. Let's keep our expectations on, the reasonable side, in terms of you would not expect a baby to walk on day one any more than you would expect yourself to make an artwork of Picasso's level on your first day of painting. So my first point is, don't hold yourself to some crazy expectation, which it's pretty human. Most of us do that at first. If you can catch yourself, stop it, because it doesn't actually help your growth, because comparing yourself to someone who's a master at that thing when you've just started it's just an unfair comparison. The reason I wanted to make the video saying that I threw it away was because, so twofold. When you create a piece of art, first, before you throw it away, give it some time. So if you feel like you've created something and you really aren't happy with it and you have the urge to throw it away, give it a little time first. Kind of like perhaps you might with a relationship that you were questioning the strength of, perhaps. It's a weird analogy, however. Sit with it. So for example, I sat with this painting. Actually, it was funny because this wasn't even a full painting. This was something that I had started, a landscape that I had wanted to paint, and I started it, and the long story short is I made quite a few mistakes, and it so didn't turn out how I wanted it. In fact, so much so that actually it was almost comical, because you could turn the painting upside down and almost see the same result, but actually more of what I would have intended had I drawn it with more intelligence or presence or whatever skill. Then the second part I want to say is that if after said period of time, like let's just conservatively say you give yourself a week to sit with this painting, a week to a month. Honestly, it's whatever period of time you feel like you want. I would say to begin with, when you're just getting into this process or whatever, process, like it's a whole drawn out thing, this decision making process about whether to keep your piece of art or to throw it away. So first, like perhaps you've heard this talk about with authors. People talk about how people often talk about how they were rejected several times before they were then a published author. So again, I number one invite you to spend some time with the painting first. Give it, say, a week. If after that week you still don't like it, I invite you to do the second thing, which is try to alter the painting. See if you can't adjust it and make, if it's a painting, whatever the artwork is, and see if you can't make it something more to your liking. Then, if it's still not working out, I still say give it a few days or maybe even another week. Then, if you still feel like ugh about that painting, throw it away. And that's why I wanted to make the video, because it's a weird and sometimes difficult thing as an artist to throw away your creations, because it's from our heart, it's from our soul, it's something we expressed in the moment or something that we felt. To simply destroy it, there's something just inherently feels wrong about that. So I understand if you're like, oh, I don't want to throw it away. You don't have to. You can do whatever you like with it. However, my suggestion would be, so that you don't end up accumulating stuff, honestly, is to, if at the end of 2 weeks, say with this particular piece of art, you still are just like really like, ugh, just go ahead and throw it away. It's a free country, it's a free world, it's a free life. No one can cause you to do anything other than yourself. So if you aren't happy with it, and you've still done that assessment, like I said, you're not Picasso starting on day one, and you're still, this doesn't make me happy, then get rid of it. Because the other thing that allows for is for you to create another piece of art that makes you happier. So this is a very goofy video. However, I just wanted to invite you that if you haven't given yourself permission as an artist to, as much as you give yourself permission to create the art in the first place and to keep the art that you really like or whatever, or to sell the art or to do whatever with the art that you create, understand that as the artist, you have the right to do anything, including get rid of it. And sometimes getting rid of it is the best thing you can do because it makes space for something new to be created. Like I said, something you might like more. So I wanted to offer that quirky and interesting insight now that it's finally quieted down out here. Thank the goodness gracious sakes. And I wanted to inspire you that it's okay, as much, like I said, as it is to create something, it's just as okay to throw that sucker in the trash. So I hope that this has helped you to give yourself the permission to both create and destroy, as we are constantly in a cycle of creation, preservation, and destruction, on and on. So I invite you to do what you enjoy and what makes you happy in your life. I invite you to do that each and every day, as often as you possibly can. So if you know anyone that this video would help, please do share it with them, as I aim to get the message out there. Subscribe as I make this content daily for you folks, and make sure you ding the bell so that you get notified. And last but not least, if you, my beautiful spirit soul, need any support or coaching along your journey, feel free to reach out always at this email address here, where it would be my pleasure to serve you. Have a beautiful and a blessed rest of your day or night whenever it is that you're seeing this. So I will see you, beautiful cats, in the next video. Namaste and much love. Bye. Squirrel moment. There's a really adorable cute chipmunk watching me, guys. I'm sorry, I keep squirreling about it. Hello. I wish you'd come be in my video, but I know you're not gonna. It's pretty close though. He's up there. You guys can't really, actually, maybe I wonder, maybe you'll be able to see him in the video. Oh, you probably definitely can now, I think. Am I crazy? Well, you guys may see them running back through there. Anyway, squirrel moment. Actually, chipmunk moment. Like, and if you know anyone this video, how they were I had started, if it's a painting, whatever the artwork is. I don't know how many you out have, and I hope, and I will see, oh wow. Sorry guys, really big, beautiful bird. So with, I cannot words today, help. I can't even say it still. Without any further ado, you take action. Little by little, you can start to take the burden off. If the belief doesn't serve you, scrap it. Unrealistic expectations. Let's keep